Public transport is a prime candidate for digitalization. The current system used by TRANSLINK has promise, but there are several features that could be added or improved to provide more to the user. Per Anas from the Chalmers Institute of Technology states that to effectively digitalize public transport, you must effectively connect four primary components of your business. The goods you provide must be connected. This allows for easy identification of what is required, as well as assisting in a more effective way of management. Your vehicles must be connected, consistently communicating with platforms as well as collecting data for display or analysis. Your business itself must be connected and shift from managing individual transactions to dealing with exception management and allowing the system itself to handle the standard dealings. The last necessary section is connecting the infrastructure, linking the vehicles, the users, the platforms, and the stations in every way possible. With this in mind, we have separated our digitalization plan into these four sections. Goods. In this case, the goods are the consumer. The greater connectivity gives them access to more information. However, as the information around us becomes even more dense, access to high-quality facts has gained increasing importance, which is why we propose the creation of a TRANSLINK app. At the moment, there is no TRANSLINK app. Although the website is optimized for mobile devices, it can still be difficult to use. There are multiple public transport apps, but most of them are paid and are only available to provide basic information. A dedicated TRANSLINK app would function similar to the current TRANSLINK website, providing timetables, journey planners, and track updates. It would also allow commuters to create a TRANSLINK account through which they could recharge their card and receive notifications regarding their regular or scheduled services. With the digitalization of the Go card system, we provide the option of attaching your Go card to a smartphone, allowing you to create a smart card which would use a system similar to PayWave to process your transactions. You would then use the TRANSLINK app to track your balance and recharge your account through PayPal or similar methods. The app would act as a communication hub as well. Users can mark selected routes or specific time frames to receive information about delays or closures. They would also be able to track their selected bus or train in real time using positioning data from other users' phones. Vehicles. There are already plenty of public transport systems around the world that are digitalizing, providing us with great ideas for our own system. In Washington, D.C., for example, as early as 2010, their public transport department was working on a prototype information screen for their system. This screen would be displayed at every platform and would utilize tracking data from the buses to provide a map of the network that updates in real time based on traffic data to display arrival times, availability of alternate means of travel, as well as listing traffic disturbances and the projected weather forecast. These boards would be phenomenal improvement on the current static paper-based timetables that are present at most bus stops. Closer to home, Melbourne's buses are adopting the same idea, with Victoria's Chief Executive for Public Transport, Mark Wild, stating that 70% of buses in the city will have tracking by the end of June. This system will be used primarily to collect data to better coordinate buses with connecting trains and trams and to identify where dedicated bus lanes and priority traffic light signals should be put in place to improve performance. Such a tracking system would be necessary for the aforementioned boards, as well as providing the backbone for the notification side of the TRANSLINK app. Business. The current Go card system is useful, however recharging can be a hassle and commuters are required to carry additional forms of identification. For example, as of July this year, full-time students are required not only to carry their Go card, but also a current student card and additional tertiary transit concession card. A creation of this online profile would also allow you to upload scans of your ID cards, which would then be approved and stop you having to carry your cards everywhere. The University of Technology in Sydney has recently been awarded a grant from the ARC, Australian Research Council, to further develop their infrastructure project with Transport New South Wales. Part of this project is to integrate mobiles more seamlessly with transport infrastructure using a shame security system, which uses RFID chips, multi-touch sensor systems, and LED lighting integrated into the flooring to detect customers who are trying to evade fares and catch them red-footed. By modifying the system to locate mobile users whose apps are not checked into the station, we would be focusing far more on exception management, which is one of the keys to effectively digitalizing a business. Finally, there's infrastructure. What we have described would be just the tip of the iceberg in creating a totally digitalized environment. When it comes to infrastructure, the Bengaluru Airport is in the process of turning their airport terminal into a fully functioning IT hub with integrated Wi-Fi, CCTV, access control, fire alarms, real-time access with direct feedback from passengers and users, transport information systems and store locators for retail, broadband services, airside, mobile check-in, passenger tracking, and in-flight information display system. Most of these changes, when broken down into individual components, already exist in one way or another in TRANSLINK systems, but when properly integrated via a centralized hub, you can create a more effective and more efficient system. We are improving on current vehicles by adding a tracker to each vehicle. The platforms will each have digital boards that will display real-time traffic data, arrival times, availability of alternate means of travel, traffic disturbances, and weather forecasts. A dedicated TRANSLINK app will act as a digital go-card, allowing the user to recharge their card at any time, as well as using a paywave system instead of simply tapping on with their card, and perhaps with the abilities for the user to check in automatically by simply walking into the zone. Features of the app would include a timetable, track updates, live, bus, and train tracking with the ability to store ID. The terminals themselves could undergo a number of digital enhancements, with the most important of which being the automatic shaming system, which again would link the RFID chips and tickets, as well as syncing with the apps to identify people who have not purchased the 6 tickets or have used the app correctly. Commuters would interact directly with the app, just as they do with the current website, with the added function of an online recharge, in which you could either elect to refill automatically using saved credit card details, or by going through an online checkout system to purchase a recharge for the nominated amount. They would then use that on platform boards, just as they do with the current static timetables. Their phone could either be set to smart card or smart ticket mode. In smart card mode, they have the ability to swipe on like regular go-card users, whereas in ticket mode, they can simply walk through the gates like regular ticket users. Users without a checked-in card, phone, or ticket would be identified by LEDs mounted on the floor. All users gain clear benefits regarding information as well as the ease of use. Users of new and digitalized smart card system gain an app containing all manner of additional information which is available to them at all times, as well as a simplified recharge and check-in process. All commuters gain a vast quantity of up-to-date information with simple addition of information boards installed at platforms. However, this would mean that a TRANSLINK app would have to be created, all buses would have to have trackers installed, boards must be placed at train and bus platforms, RFID technology must be present in every ticket, and a modified version of the LED system proposed for the Sydney transport system must be included in major stations. So finally, there are 3 major changes proposed that will affect users. The first is the boards, which do not require an explanation really. They simply provide a larger variety and volume of more up-to-date information to the user. The second is the LED shaming system in the train stations, which would free up staff who are no longer required to check tickets, as well as making the job simpler for